Getting healthy does not guarantee weight loss. In fact, thinking that may actually be getting in the way of you reaching your physique goal. When things are marketed at us, they are marketed as something that is healthy and would make you more fit or trim or lean. But the thing is that those things are not all one and the same. So today we're going to talk about 3 things that you need to consider if you want to be both healthy and lose weight. If that sounds like something that you want to hear more of, then stay tuned for the tips that I have coming, and make sure that you go ahead, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you're notified every week when I release a new video helping you crush your fat loss goal. For so long, most of us have just said, I just want to get healthy. I just want to be more fit, as if they're one and the same. Most of us tend to assume that being healthy and losing weight are the same goal. And typically, depending upon where you're turned, that's being confirmed. So maybe when you go to the doctor for something that is wrong, you're constantly hearing about how you need to lose a little bit more weight to help solve some problem that you have in an area that has nothing to do with weight loss. Maybe it's a knee issue or back pain or fertility issue. From things A to Z, we've often heard that if we lose weight, it would help. And while losing weight does affect blood markers, that does not mean that getting healthy and losing weight are one and the same. Think about it. Does everybody that is super healthy also become super lean and fit? Maybe that's even you. I know that for a very long time, I ate all 100% like organic foods. I grew all my own vegetables. I grinded my own wheat to make all of my own products and bread products and grain products. So every single thing, I was grinding spelt and wheat and barley and almonds and whatever the case may be. And you may be that person too, to where you're doing things that are extremely healthy, but you have not seen the scale move. And this is something that we need to understand. So when we actually look at health, a healthy diet does not actually equate to weight loss. So the way that this tends to come up in our lives is that often we may think, the reason why it's important for us to understand this is that if we think that as long as I eat clean or healthy or organic, that calories or macros don't count. Now, this can get us tripped up, because the reality is that you can be healthy but not see physique changes, because gaining and losing fat, muscle, whatever it is that you're trying to gain, requires either a surplus or a deficit of food. So if you are trying to lose weight and you are eating a surplus of calories, even if those are the most amazing, healthy, organic calories that you can find, they're still going to cause either weight gain, or you're going to stay exactly where you are if you're eating at maintenance level calories of the healthiest foods on the planet. On the contrary, if you're eating less food, even if that food is not the best quality of calories, even if it's junk food, eating less will probably cause a downtick in the scale. It will cause you to lose some weight. So you have to think about both. If you want to both be healthy and lose fat, then you're going to eat less healthy calories, and that way you'll lose some fat, but you're doing it in a very healthy manner. If you want to gain muscle and be healthy, then you're going to increase calories, but you're also going to increase them in a healthy way. You're just going to eat more of the healthy foods that you're already having, or less of the healthy foods that you're already having. Also, this means that if you're somebody who maybe you're kind of sort of on the fence where you want to lose a little bit of fat, but maybe eating super healthy foods isn't all that important to you, that is not an issue, because you actually still can lose weight and not be eating 100% healthy, clean, and organic. So that's why it's important to know on both ends of the spectrum. The reality is, it doesn't matter how healthy you are if you're eating too many calories. And it doesn't matter how unhealthy you are. If you're eating less calories than you are burning, you will probably still lose some weight. Whether or not that is healthy weight that you're losing, the weight loss is still possible. So if you can find a healthy medium where you're doing both, that is going to be the best case scenario, especially because you're going to tailor it according to you. So that means that you can be kind of sort of healthy, hitting your macronutrient levels, eating, a sufficient amount of treats, even if those things are what somebody else might consider junk food, as long as you're hitting the amount of protein that your body needs, getting in the amount of fiber that your body needs, and hitting the calorie level for your specific goal, then you can still see progress. So this gives you hope on both ends of the spectrum, but also a reality check on both ends of the spectrum. So the second thing that I would say to consider when we're thinking in terms of this, health, like I just want to be healthy, when we consider or when we compare being fit and think of that as being leaner or thinner, those are not always one and the same. Just as I said in the first point, someone can be really unhealthy and also be really underweight. So someone that is leaner than maybe someone else that is heavier doesn't mean that that person is healthier than them, even if they weigh less than the other person. So that's important to know as well when you are going to doctor visits or when you are falsely assuming something about yourself or someone else based on their weight. Just because someone else is smaller than you or thinner than you, it doesn't mean that they are necessarily healthier than you are if you are taking excellent care of your health. If you're doing all the things, you're working out consistently, you're eating healthy food, you're eating whole grains and vegetables and high protein, and you're doing all of these things to take care of your body, you are a healthy person, even if your weight does not show that. And someone else that is not doing any of those things, that is not having any movement in their day, they're not exercising at all, they're not eating, the same healthy foods, they're not eating vegetables or fruits or getting insufficient amount of protein or properly fueling their body, even if they're underweight, that does not mean that they're healthier. So it's disconnecting these two things from each other that allows us to have the freedom on our journey to do what it actually is that we set out to do. So if you are someone who is simply setting out to become healthier, even if you don't lose weight, that does not mean that you have not achieved your goal of health. It also means that you don't want to just do whatever makes you feel happy and think that, well, as long as I am underweight, I'm still healthy, because that could be a way that the diet mentality has gotten in and it's kind of tripping you up a little bit. So the reason why we want to make sure that we're taking that into consideration is because when we feed into the lie that being fit means being lean or thin, then we tend to not do the things that will make us thin or lean. So this means that if someone who wants to lose weight, but maybe you're doing lots of fun exercises that feel really good to you, you're getting out and moving your body every day, you're doing all the healthy things, you have a healthy diet, and you have an active lifestyle, but you're not seeing weight loss, if you actually would like to see some weight loss, more specifically fat loss, then that means you would have to step away from the fit mindset of, well, I'm doing the thing, so therefore they will automatically mean that I am going to become smaller. And you would have to start doing things that actually equate to fat loss if fat loss is your goal. So this means instead of doing whatever exercise makes you feel good or doing whatever exercise is heart healthy or high endurance, if these things are not related to your goal of a physique change, then you would have to adjust those things accordingly. Yes, they are very healthy. Maybe, you're doing something and you notice it, like your endurance is improving and all of this stuff. As I mentioned in some of my other videos, endurance and fat loss are not one and the same. So if you're actually attempting to lose some fat, you would need to indulge mostly in fat loss behaviors, which means hitting a certain amount of protein, eating a certain amount of calories, doing some strength training workouts to make sure that you're maintaining your muscle mass, and also limiting the cardio, not necessarily totally throwing it out the window if you're a cardio lover, but realizing that strength training is going to be your best friend when you're trying to lose fat, because that's going to help you to hold on to that muscle mass so that your metabolism stays nice and high. If you're only looking to be healthy, then that means you can go literally do whatever exercise makes you feel good, gets your heart pumping, gives you the endorphins, because in that case, all you're looking for is endorphins. It's just important to know that endorphins don't equal fat loss. So that's the reason why I'm coming to you with these things today, is because if you wonder, like, why does it matter? Why am I like picking apart these two different things? Why are we talking about these things that seem to be minute differences? And it's because you have to be honest with yourself with what you're actually going after. So a lot of times people are saying, I just want to be healthy and fit. And they mean, I want to be smaller and I want to have a more, chiseled physique or something like that. I want to be a size 6 and I'm currently a size 16. If that is what you mean, then don't disguise it or confuse your brain, confuse yourself, or confuse the actions that you're taking by making it fluffy and pretty and cute and saying the thing that is more, acceptable, is that I want to be healthy. When you pull these two things apart and realize that I can be healthy and not lean, I can be lean and not healthy, I can be fit and not lean, and I can be lean and not fit. When you start to see these as separate entities, you can start creating the goals that you actually want, and you can know what to expect from the actions that you're taking. So that is the most important part, is that I see a lot of people in the fitness industry, and this is a discussion that I have a lot with a lot of the trainers that I coach, where they are trying to make this shift into helping their clients to do exercises and take actions in their diet that will actually help them. And they're saying, like, I don't get it. Like, this client is super healthy. Like, why aren't the things working? And it's about understanding what the basics of fat loss entail and making sure that those are incorporated regardless of what this person's health goals may be. So you can have a health goal and you can have a fat loss goal. Just make sure that the actions and expectations align. That means do not be upset when you eat really healthy, exercise a lot, and don't see physique changes. Don't say, I just want to be healthy again, when you really mean, I just want to be the size that I was again, and I want to, or saying that I want to get back to a healthy weight, because weight is very relative when it comes to health. Health markers can improve without weight being lost. They can also improve with weight being lost, because it just depends on the actual thing. So we just want to be careful with our words, what we're saying, the actions we're taking, and making sure they all line up. Because if you find yourself saying, I just want to feel healthy again, get back to a healthy weight, and all those things, that's going to tie back into what I talk about a lot with the different seasons, and understanding that there are different phases of your journey, and each phase you should expect something completely different to happen. When you are in a muscle building phase, you are looking to build muscle. You're not necessarily looking for fat loss. When you're in a fat loss phase, you're not necessarily looking to build muscle. You're looking to lose fat and hopefully hold on to some of the muscle that you built over there. When you're in a phase, it's just like, I'm just chilling. I'm not looking for anything. I'm not paying attention to what I eat. I just want to relax and have some mental freedom from tracking my food all the time and all those things. When you're in a chill phase, that means you're not expecting either one. You're not expecting fat loss. You're not expecting muscle gain. You're not expecting anything. You're just kind of taking life as it comes, because your focus is on the mental clarity and relaxation and not having to log all the things. So hopefully that kind of clears things up a little bit. It's just something that, even though it seems like it's nitpicking, it really can be a huge indicator of why you're not seeing the progress that you want. If you find yourself assuming that getting healthy will automatically equate to getting leaner. If you want to be lean, I understand that we are in a society right now that, either side of the fence can be looked at as horrible. The person that wants to change the way that they look could be, made to feel really bad about it. And the person who wants to, change, but they don't want to say they want to change because they don't want to be a part of that crowd. So you'll have this community over here that's just like, love yourself the way that you are, don't ever try and change anything. And then you have this other community telling you change all the things because, you know, you suck, you're fat, you don't belong in the society. So find your happy medium of where you want to fit in, where your standards of beauty and thinness and all those things are, and be okay with it, even if it's something that's unpopular with another crowd, because you're going to be 100% unhappy if you're in this crowd shouting rah rah when you really want the results of that crowd over there. And that's one of the things that I noticed in such an extreme society that we're in, both in the fitness industry, but just globally right now. So if you want to lose fat, there is no shame in that. If you are completely happy where you are and you just want to be healthy, there is no shame in that. If you want both, then be honest with yourself and do what it takes and take the actions that make the two of those things align in a way that works for you. So if that's you and you do want to lose a little bit more fat, make sure that you've already downloaded our quick start guide if you're brand new here, and that's going to give you information for how to get started on this journey. If you're not so new and you're ready to take that next step, then I highly recommend taking my fat loss crash course, which is going to help you to see the 5 biggest mistakes that most women are making when it comes to fat loss and how to correct them. Because obviously you don't want to just know about the mistakes, you want to fix them. If this video is useful to you, make sure you go ahead and give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment and let me know. And be sure to subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys next Thursday.